everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to look into one of the components in Azure Devops, which is Azure Boards. Few people already have the question, what is DevOps tool? How can I use it to improve my work efficiency? Are you interested in implementing DevOps practices, but are not sure really how to start and what to do? Uh, let's look into the DevOps planning process in this video, which is Azure Boards. We'll be looking into Azure Boards. Before that, I'll just give a small summary of what is DevOps, and then we'll proceed further. So before we proceed further, yes, Azure DevOps is a set of processes and tools that the whole organization needs to adopt for a better collaboration culture that brings together developers, project managers, contributors, and whoever is involved in the project to finally deliver a software, a product, or even a deployment. So one question that might come into your mind that Azure DevOps is suitable only for developers? No, even if it can be used effectively for infrastructure deployment as well. It allows organizations to create and improve products at a faster pace than the traditional waterfall methodologies. When we talk about all these things, in reality, adopting the DevOps practices might be a little bit challenging for an organization which is already uh, not in a greenfield deployment. DevOps helps organizations to decide how to apply the DevOps processes and tools to minimize their initial resistance. So Azure DevOps is a software as a service platform which is offered from Microsoft that provides end-to-end DevOps toolchain for developing and deploying a software product or even for infrastructure as a service or even for infrastructure deployments. We currently use any tools to manage your daily work and plan for the future. For example, it can be anything. I'm not just specifically saying, let's say if you are using uh, Jira or Confluence, uh, you can do even integration in the Azure DevOps to use them. Or for example, if you are using the project even in the GitHub, you can use that as your project planning tool still in the Azure DevOps platform. But what I've seen is using the Azure boards has also been effectively helpful in tracking your projects and making them more efficient way. It's very important to know that when you're using the Azure project planning methodologies, it really increases the maturity level of your project mechanism and tracking them. And when we talk about this, Azure DevOps mostly follow the agile methodology. In reality, starting to apply the agile practices in any organization as a new will be a bit challenging because it mainly demands collaboration from your teams, stakeholder involvement, support, and training the people. To be honest, even I have been into the agile uh, world for the last 2 years and 8 months. Before that, I was fully into the waterfall methodology. For the first 6 months when I was into the agile methodology, it was really bit difficult for me when the tasks were broken down into chunks and where there was a frequent meeting and interactions. It was a bit challenging for me to understand because I was not initially trained for the agile or Scrum methodology. So later, after like 4 to 6 months, I really got habituated, and then I felt this is the best way to handle any projects for your project planning, and the efficiency was really good. So I feel the agile methodology is really good in any organization. Having said that, good tools can help your agile team members collaborate more efficiently, both within the team and also within the cross-functional teams. for example. Um, so the first thing in the agile methodology is you need to first better choose the better collaboration tools. It can be the Teams, Microsoft Teams, Slack, or Slack for Business. If you ask me, I would definitely say Microsoft Teams because the product that has been evolved in the past 3 years is really great. So the better collaboration tool to utilize here is Microsoft Teams because that will also be easy for you to integrate the Azure boards into the Microsoft Teams. There can be few recommendations from my side for adopting the agile methodologies because, for example, in your organization, they are already following a different project management approach. In order to follow the agile methodology, uh, you can just have some strategies. The first thing is like you can create an organization structure that supports the agile practices. For example, in the current state, like you can have a team who is having horizontal planning. Like for example, every team is in horizontal where it might be having 1% dependency within that particular team, and there is no collaboration, no frequent collaboration, no meetings, and just the planning is done only at the initial stage, and there is no way that you can change your planning. It goes, and finally, when the product is delivered, you see uh, the requirement has totally changed. So this can overcome, like if you reorganize your organization structure that supports agile practices. Uh, and the second thing is like you can mentor your team members on agile techniques and practices. So when you choose 1 or 2%, you can tell them, okay, like what is the benefit of using agile methodologies, and that can help you in planning, developing, deliver, operate, which is having the continuous improvement, continuous delivery, better collaboration, and workflow. As we see in the picture, I have it in front of my laptop. So this will really help in the better delivery of your product. And the best thing is you also need to enable in the team and cross team collaboration. That's more efficient. That's a more efficient way. For example, when you talk about the Scrum, in the Scrum you have the daily stand-up meeting, so that your team members have the opportunity to collaborate every day and give an update about what they are doing, and this will help the other team members to give some idea and also deliver quickly about your project. And the best part is you're continuously having a look at your product, and there is opportunity to improve at every corner by your team members. And of course, the cross team collaboration frequent meeting is also really helpful so that there is no roadblocks. Just in case if any roadblocks is there, you'll be able to clear them as well. And also, the most important thing is you should stop the asynchronous communication tasks. For example, if someone is reaching you via a chat, an email, and trying to make it as a priority, just simply stop. You're not supposed to take it because it has to come through your planning, and only then, based on your availability of the resources, it needs to be given. So that's the best way to start taking up the agile methodology so that you can prioritize your tasks. And of course, in the last, you have to definitely utilize the better tools for collaboration, not only via the phone call. So, because when you utilize Teams, you can have the chat histories and track whatever the conversations you have done with your colleagues. So, having talked a summary about the Azure DevOps and the overview of the Agile methodologies, today we are going to have a look at the Azure Boards, which is one of the project planning tool. Uh, so Azure Boards is a tool in Azure DevOps to help teams plan the work that needs to be done. Uh, so we'll be just having a look at our demo. So here, this is my Azure DevOps portal. So the first and the foremost thing is you have to go into dev.azure.com, and then you have to create your project. So I've already logged into dev.azure.com, and then I have already created the organization. In the organization, I have two projects which I have created for this demo today. So the main thing, what is a project? A project is uh, uh, it can be a it can be a planner which can be used for your new implementation or new product or new development. So in that project, you can give tasks to your teammates and track them on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, weekly basis, and also a monthly basis. So when going to create a project, for example, I'm into the Azure DevOps, you have to click on the new project. The moment when you click on the new project, there is a visibility. Of course, you have to give the project name and the description. After you give the project name and the description, you have the visibility, which is like public or private. In my case, I've just given it as a public, sorry, private. In most of the cases, project will not be public. So in my example, I also given as private. And the best part is when you go into advanced mode, as we already talked about it, the Azure DevOps always takes the umbrella agile methodology. So when we talk about the umbrella agile methodology, there are most common two methods which is used by everyone in the organization, in all the organization. Either they go with the Scrum methodology or they go with the Kanban methodology. Because the waterfall methodology, you don't get the option to uh, revisit your planning and have a frequent change on them, and also the frequent development of the project is not possible in the waterfall methodology. So in the agile methodology, we have two, which is widely used, which is first one is it can be Kanban or it can be Scrum. So the same way, when you try to create a new project in the work item process, we have four options. The first one is agile methodology. Yes, in the agile methodology, you have the option to choose your projects. And we have the basic methodology, which we look into of the basic methodology in few minutes. We have CMMI, that is also a type of agile methodology which you can utilize. And the last one is the Scrum. So usually in the Scrum, you have the daily stand-ups, you have uh, the sprint planning, all those things. In our case, we are going to look into basic, and for your purpose, you can choose the different methodologies and have a look at it, how it is going to be. Uh, and you have an option to integrate it with Git and the Team Foundation version control. Yes, we are not using the Team Foundation version control. Most of the organizations are not using Team Foundation version control because people are adapted to the Git, and its Team Foundation version control was most effectively used in the past and also in the on-premise instance. But now people are using Git. So yeah, when you integrate with the Git, then you have an option to do your CI/CD development and then update your tasks or stories accordingly. So, having seen about how to create a new project, let's see and have a look at the Azure boards. So, in my case, in the example, I have created one new project which is Space Game Web Delivery Plans and the Toy Box Innovation. I'm just going to click on Toy Box Innovation. Uh, one step back before that, I just wanted to give one more main topic on the project settings. So in this toy box innovation, when you go into the project settings, the first thing is the overview, where you have the name of the project and the description, and you see the process I have chosen is basic in my example. Um, and the project administrator is myself by default. You can also add an additional administration, and the Azure DevOps services, whatever you want to utilize for this project, you can use it. So in my case, I have selected all of them, which eventually we are going to have a look at all of them at a later stage. So today we'll be having a look at only at the boards and having a look at the teams. Yes, this is the team which I created, and you see that, and you have the option to add the members when you navigate into the team. I have added three of examples, and you have the settings, so you can have an image and then administrator, and at the last you have option to delete the team. You also have an option to add new tools, and in the permissions, These are the default groups of the Azure DevOps. So here, if any people are project administrators, they would be able to perform all operations and have a look at your projects. So by default, the project what you create will be sorry, the team what you create will be having the permission, because of course that is the team which will have the members to work and create the tasks over here. And you have the notification and the service hooks. These are all not important at this stage, because we'll have a look at it when we are going to do the CI/CD deployment. So now we are going to go into the boards. In the boards, we have the project configuration. In the project configuration, we have the sprint. Sprint is nothing but like you can define a timeline for your task. For example, I go to a sprint, and in the sprint, I have created a timeline of 2 weeks for whatever the tasks that will be created over here. You have the opportunity to modify it based on your current project or the timelines. And when you go into the team configurations, we have the general, only the backlogs to your team managers, and the backlog navigation level can be epic and issues, which we'll have a look at in few minutes. And the select days, the project can be done only on the weekdays, not on the weekends. You can also modify based on your requirement. And you have the iterations. In the iterations, these are the options. Like whenever someone is creating a task, you can add a sublink item, or you can just uh, make one particular team as a default one. For example, in here I have the default iteration as current iteration. When I go and click on the change, I can just select a sprint one. So based on that, if you have a look at the iteration, so this will be the default iteration value for the work items created on your team's canvas. For example, I create a default iteration. It will, if I create a work item, it will be having only the current iteration. But for when I just choose the sprint one, so whatever the work items I'm creating, it will be getting assigned to the sprint one, and that will have the corresponding timelines for the same. So you can do the iterations, customizations over here, and areas is nothing. This is the areas your teams own below. So the default area is toy work innovation, and you can also uh, change them. And the template, you can also go and create a new templates that can define a system of new values that can be applied to your work items. Okay, so having talked about the basics, these are all the CI/CD deployments at a later stage. We're not going to have a look at it right now. I'm just going back to the team right now. So 12 box innovation, that's the project we are going to have a look at. On the left side, I have the boards. On the boards, we have options, work items, boards, backlogs, prints, queries, and delivery plans. So when you look at them at the first time, like you might have a little bit of confusion. Okay, what are this? Why I need to have this, and what I need to choose. So basically, work items you can use to track your tasks. Associate work items with the sprint with the proper timeline, or even with the iteration. So by using this, you can just go ahead and plan your tasks and then give a timeline by using the sprints. Um, and when coming to talk about the Epic, you have okay. So when coming to talk about the boards can be created with the agile processes, basic processes, Scrum processes, or CMI, and then you can assign tasks within the boards. So you can have a board, and then you can further have a corresponding task to that. Um, and also, let's have a look at how to create a work item. So when you go into the board, when you click on the work item, in the work item, you just go and click on the new work item. So here you have Epic issue and tasks. So Epic is nothing but it corresponds to a collection of features that are related to one another, and it can combine a larger value of proposition. So Epic, you can just create it for a bigger task that is having uh, uh, multiple tasks that can be correlated to multiple tasks. So for example, if you have one job which is correlated to multiple other jobs, so you can create an epic. Um, Basically, issues and tasks are used to track a work, so which can be assigned for particular one work, which can be taken care by one person. So here, for example, I just go here and just click on issue, and the issue I can just give a title. Okay, uh, first evaluate the license requirements. So here what I can do is assign, it's in the unassigned status, I can go and assign it to, for example, one of my colleague who I added. Um, it's supposed to give the candidate's name. Okay, but anyways, it's not showing here. Maybe I did not add my colleague's name into this project. So here I'm just adding my name. So when your uh, members, when your colleagues are added into the project team, then you can assign the task to them. So here in the state, it is to do, and reason is added to backlog by default, and you can set the priority, and after that you can give some description. Evaluate the license requirements with the CSP. And after that, I can just click on save. The moment after I click on save, I also have an option to correlate a work item. For example, I can add an existing work item as a parent or a child, and also I can add a link, a new item or an existing item. So when I go and click on the existing item, for example, it can be a child item, and I can just choose any one of the work items to link. It can be uh, within your project, or it can be within other project also. If there is visibility to the other project, you can also create the cross relationship. For example, I just select this product backlog and click on OK. It should be possible. So having done this, this will help me to track a work item that is assigned to a particular person, and if that particular person, he can also add comments. I also be able to see it, uh, and the the team members who is having access to a project will also be able to have a look at it. Having said this, in the work items, when I click on as a whole, I have the opportunity to see all the work items, because it's just an example only for me. When it comes to all of your colleagues, then you'll be able to see the work item for everyone. So, so here, for example, I can do a filter by keyword. If I want to have a look at the particular work item, I can do a filter by keyword and see, or I can see a filter by using to whom it is assigned. I can just select only to my name and run through uh, the daily stand-up by choosing the colleagues of my team, and have a look at it. For example, if I Scrum Master or product owner in my team, he can just go to the daily stand-up and have a look at each and every one of the tasks. And you also have an opportunity for the tags. You can create a tags and assign it accordingly based on your work. So this is in the work item, we have option for filter and have a look at the complete team in what state the work is. And this is the board what we talked about. So like the the boards is basically created with agile processes, basic processes, scrum processes, so that you can assign to particular team members, and then you can track it, like what are the things to do, what are the current things which has been doing, and what are the things that has been completed. So your team members, when they create a boards, they can place the new things in the to do, and the current task, whatever they are doing, they can move into doing phase. And at the last, if whatever the task they have completed, they can move to the done phase. And here they can also finally add the related work items. It can be a tasks or a new item to the particular boards. And at the last, You also have the backlogs. In the backlogs, you can see what are the things which is not being completed according based on your sprint timing. You can also have a look at it. Okay, a colleague has not completed a sprint. Usually, a sprint is supposed to be for 2 weeks of time. If a sprint is not completed, then you can have a look at it from the backlogs. And the sprints, as I told, you can have multiple sprints based on your projects. So you can define the sprint and assign it to the person. So at the last, you can run the queries, and in the queries, you also have an opportunity to write a new query and then see the task. Because this is only an example. I have just one or two in my case, but in reality, you will have multiple tasks, uh, so many people. So it's always better to run a query and see the work item type for any. And for example, if you run a query, you get the results. So delivery plans is something. It's a hub in Azure DevOps that helps organization to plan and review the work schedules across multiple teams. For example, if you have multiple teams where your work is dependent on them, then you can just use delivery plans, and that will give you overview. For example, I have the previous one of the project. For example, space game delivery plans. I have multiple tasks created for for this example. So when I go and I click on the delivery plans, it will give me the overview like this. So which can tell me, okay, what are the projects which is dependent and which is not completed. For example, if I see this clip which is in green, it's in perfect state. When I click on this, if you see stabilize the build server, push the beta, these both work items are correlated and linked. For example, stabilize the build server is not completed before push the beta, this clip will become red. So which means like your planning is not proper. So you have to coordinate with the cross-functional team to make sure that, okay, I need to stabilize the build server, only then I can push the beta. So the sprint will be moved previously before you push the beta, which will bring the clip to the green state. So having talked about this, this is the overview of the Azure DevOps planning tool. So this can help you in choosing the correct tools and processes for agile practices. So this will help in your better project management tools, tracking your impediments, uh, setting up the proper sprints, and also having a look at your backlogs and taking the necessary actions. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to subscribe our channel for more videos like this. Thank you.